In honor of Women's History Month, we've been talking with female leaders in sports, politics, business, and entertainment. And this morning, we are focusing on...
Every Friday during Women's History Month, all month long, we've been celebrating Women's History Month by talking with female leaders in sports, politics, business, and entertainment. And this
black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody.
We are in a state of emergency.
Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it go. Free your mind.
Everybody join in this melody. That's the only way we're gonna be. Everybody singing this sweet refrain. Sing this melody till it gets in your brain. Well, I'm talking to you, Muslim, Christian, and the Hebrew. Anything to do, we got to unite, or else we are through. Everybody singing this sweet refrain. Sing this melody till it gets in your brain. Everybody singing this melody.
I ordered this book, God is on Trial. I ordered this book from Amazon, and I must say I've read it. It's very well written, very thought-provoking. And so, sisters and brothers like Alberta Parrish, again, God is on Trial. It is a provocative, thought-provoking, very real and honest point of view regarding the gods of major religions or of Abrahamic religions, and why those of us who follow these belief systems should be asking the same kind of questions instead of just blindly accepting and following.
How do you guys feel about Cherry frowning like that with her album? Because album
I think she's cute.
cute.
That's all I got to say.
She crew.
I think she's cute. Huh?
Thanks, hon.
She came out with a different attitude after that.
Like no man to me.
That's old school. Life has changed. I want the red.
Wait, what was that Mr. T did in Rocky? What was that, Rocky 3? Was it Rocky 3? Put the cameras on my face!
En Vogue. Resorts Casino. The Brothers in the House. That's Prince. There we go. I don't have a lot to say. Come to see Terry. That's Terry, Cindy, and Rona.
I trust that feeling. Does anybody have any questions of me before I get out of here? Let's see what you guys are saying. What's up, Soul Sister Rona? Hey, Taalik. I'm the brother that did Mike Jackson in Tunica, Mississippi. Hey, now. Hello to Terry. Respect. Bless up. Bless up. Bless up.
Come to see Terry. That's Terry, Cindy, and Rona. It's Terry.
It's important for the black youth especially to know that we did have a history and that we did great things and that we had great people, and those things were not in the history books when I was in school. And what I'd like to be doing 5 years from now is attempting to rewrite the history books so that they'll know that.
This message. Hey, my brother, you know I had to call you and thank you personally again. I cannot describe to you how happy I was to meet you in person, finally. That was just like amazing.
Okay, thank you for donating to my uncle Taalik. I appreciate it, and I know that my family appreciate it because he's been in our lives for years now. So, yeah. And I just want to say thank you because, yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, and we love you guys. Mwah. Bye. Bye. Peace forever and always. Peace forever and always. Peace forever and always.
Everybody who is black and interested in black people, let us sit down and find out how we can get together in one direction against one enemy and accomplish this job overnight.
When soul singer and black activist Sam Cooke wrote the lyrics to his song, A Change Is Gonna Come, it was very direct and to the point. With some changes to it, the song was still digestible. In the year 2019, black folks continue to go through the change rather than direct the change. A community activist named Taalik Ibn'rad has made an appeal similar to what Sam Cooke was asking for. A change. It's said that the meek shall inherit the earth. We ask when. When will the landlords give the meek a free lease? Mr. Ibn'rad is humbly asking for the state of Mississippi. President Trump has already had sit-downs with the wrong representatives of the black community. How about a real discussion with a true grassroots African American? Join and organize Operation Exodus Mississippi today, or become a supporter. This is Dusty Basement Studios, and we approve of this message.
We want to make sure that we're not just working to be first, but we're working to be right. A lot of times there are situations when things are just happening so fast. It's always important to be fast, but we always want to be right.
Out in perfect harmony, Terry Ellis becomes the first of the divas to offer the world her singular sound. And she does just that on Southern Gal.
Morals are just, subjective. But when you have laws and things on paper that say, if you do this, we're going to punish you by incarcerating you, and you break them and you're dumb enough to get caught, then you're just dumb.
All right. Shout out to Reality's Temple in the building. Well, just for I got to get him on here, man. You talk about somebody polarizing. Whoa. that brother is, I'll leave that alone. Shout out to the brother, though, Justin.
And that is Brother Taalik from the Reality Temples on Earth channel. And if you get a chance to subscribe, please do subscribe to his channel. He's a good brother. He's doing good work, and he wants to do good constructive things. He has good information to provide. So please do check out his channel if you get a chance.
Gomane. Assemble the people, Gomane. We will not be defeated by witch doctors' illusions.
But first I want to say that I want to thank Angel Snub 7 for being there for me, administering to me over YouTube and in person, over the phone. The brother believed in me to make these videos. He gave me the opportunity. I want to say that if I would have had a brother like this in my life 10, 15 years ago, I probably wouldn't have took the path that I took. But that was my experience. This brother's a good role model for us.
You all see how long I've been on YouTube. No one has been more resilient, pushing more harder on YouTube than I have. I must add, brother Angel Snub 7, brother Taalik Ibn'rad. Many of you all have not heard of him, and it's a reason for that you haven't heard of brothers like that who's coming with a profound message. Every day this brother does like an hour dissertation on YouTube, but no one's hearing him. His message is not getting out. Powerful message, more powerful than most messages that are out there. Very real, very radical, very sincere, very diligent, very consistent, and very little hypocrisy in what he speaks. At least he's true and sincere about what he's talking about. He's not doing it for money, selling no projects, selling no products, trying to do lectures. He's actually coming on there, offering some critical thought and critical analysis every day consistently, but most people have not heard of him. Not because he's lazy. I see him. He got thousands of YouTube pages. I see him constantly putting out videos, but you haven't heard of him. That's by design. That's by design of white supremacy.
Ministry by the name of the Reality Temple on Earth. And I had the pleasure of speaking with him for several hours today. And I think it's only fair that I do a reaction video to the conversation. And the conversation was on various topics, which was basically centered around African quote-unquote consciousness. And he was a real deep brother, very down to earth, very approachable. He didn't carry himself like a know-it-all. Someone you could talk to and really listen to you. It was such an honor to finally meet somebody over the internet that has an ear to listen, and not only an ear to listen, but will take full action on what they stand for.
Hi, my name is Deborah Kennedy. I live in Texas, and I listened to Taalik's video regarding failure of prayer and God's so-called promises. Things. I was just elated. I thought it was just very insightful, and I commend you all for putting something out there like that. That we lean too much on what we're told somebody else is looking out for us, and we have philosophies or teachings like that, and we're supposed to be developing that in ourselves. And I appreciate Taalik's his powerful delivery. You don't need to call if you're busy, but I just want to pass that along. I was very impressed. Thank you so much. You take care now. Peace and love.
It just, I'm inspired by my brother, that Reality Temple's brother, the most powerful voice on the internet, that Reality Angel Snub 7. That's right, brother. I'm calling you out, brother. I'm building you. I'm putting you out there, brother. I'm shouting you out. That's my inspiration.
Dragon Manifest. Welcome to the Reality Temple on Earth, Dragon Manifest.
Thank you for having me, brother. This is an honor. I've been watching you for at least a couple years now.
Yes, sir.
From the first time I got hip to your channel, I've been hooked ever since. I'm always looking out for new videos. I mean, when I first saw your channel, I said, "Oh, this is an ancestor that has most definitely returned." Most definitely. This is not a new ancestor. This is an old ancestor. You could hear, you could feel the ancestors through you. You know, most people probably say, "What is he talking about?"
Right.
They don't get it. You gotta be on that level.
By Brother Angel Snub 7 at the Realities Temple. And to give props to him, because I listened to all of Angel Snub 7's videos. I think that he comes from a different angle, and there's a powerful message in a lot of the videos that he put out, and I try to catch all of them. I look at him as a free thinker and a person that's willing to challenge those of which he don't agree with or which he may think differently from, and I really respect him for that. He's challenged KNBS, and he has also challenged the black supremacy movement as well, and I have nothing against that, because that which cannot be challenged cannot stand and will not stand and will not survive the test of time. How many challenges we can withstand will determine how long we will be able to stand.
And my name is Myron. They call me Sniffy. My name Myron Johnson. They call me Sniffy. They call me Sniffy. My cousin is Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm here to give y'all a message. Y'all better leave my cousin alone. That's what y'all better do.
Himself, and you don't realize it. You don't realize it, that God has been imprisoned. The devil was able to imprison God. So right inside your own self, your God self has been imprisoned, and you have a false sense of self running rampant inside the temple. This is why, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We have to bring Reality's temple here on earth. Reality's temple here on earth, because
Yes, sir.
we have to realize the enemy is running rampant inside this temple.
And when I did my website, you were the only brother. And let me stress that. Because when I did that website, blackcommune.net, and I did the video and I asked the black YouTube community, the so-called black YouTube community, to give me your videos. Because at the time, a lot of brothers were getting flagged and videos taken down. So I said, you know what? You can put your videos on my website so that the message can still be heard for all to hear. You know, something like, you know, a little I made that website for everyone. But you were the only one that gave me permission to use your videos. And I thought that was very honorable of you, and really a testament to how much you cared about the black community.
We're talking about not falling into the teacher trap, not falling into the website trap. So today, what teachers can you learn from? We just told you that the Akawu tells you that we're all a great teacher at the same time. So who are you going to learn from? You're going to learn from brothers like Sa Neter. You're going to learn the positives and negatives from brothers like Sa Neter. You're going to learn the positives and negatives of people like Brother Polite. The positives and negatives of people like Sa Rasul Seti. You're going to learn from Maurice Muhammad, Taalik Ibn'rad. You're going to learn from Nettercat. You're going to learn, you definitely going to learn from King Noble. You definitely going to learn a little something from Brother Daku.
I'm not really worried about convincing you about what I believe in. My main concern is to find people with the like-minded minds, like Minister, the Realist temple, the Realities temple on earth. I can relate with that guy. I can say he's talking sense because he has intelligence, and he doesn't come up with rubbish. He comes up with well thought conversations. He's thought about this. He's still thinking about it right now as we speak about it, and after that he'll be thinking about it because he's a thinker. He's not just a doer taking information and repeating it. He's a thinker.
I do want to say something right now. There is a YouTuber who has really got in my heart, and that is Angel Snub 7. he reminds me a lot of my father. My father died last year of a heart attack. And Angel Snuffing Up 7 made a video recently speaking about how we need to band with black leaders. I don't care if they're not doing everything perfect. I don't care that we don't like certain things they do. They're the only support we have. Nobody else is stepping up and willing to be on the front lines like they are. And Angel Snuffing Up 7 was correct, and I want to thank him for that.
Welcome to the Reality Temple on Earth. My name is Jeroen, and I would like to say that Angel Snuffing Up 7 isn't a racist at all. He's a good friend, and I owe him a lot of support and...
Yes, Brother Taalik, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I am Minister John Cooper. I live in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. And I was watching, someone had sent me a video, and I was watching it, and I think yours popped up on the sidebar. I never heard of it before. When you get time, give me a call if you can. I did a sermon and finally got a chance to do it at church. I am a minister, but I'm not active in the pulpit. I'm deciding to speak, basically trying to teach and getting our people ready and those that will listen. And this minister allowed me to do a lesson this past Tuesday night. Basically, my wife said, "Man, you were saying the same thing this guy's saying now, John," and it just blew her mind.
Come on. Assemble the people. Come on. We will not be defeated by witch doctors' illusions.
Let's be honest. If black folks are going to get reparations, then they're going to need a 4-star general's approach to it. It will have to be approached in an organized, sustained, military-like way. A flamethrower of a man will have to be the keynote speaker concerning reparations. Brother Malcolm would have been the perfect man to go into the United Nations to pressure the power structure to give us reparations. But he's no longer with us, and his brothers who helped stop him haven't picked up the tab. They weren't serious. If reparations is going to be addressed, then a serious individual like this brother named Taalik Ibn'rad should be sent to the UN to speak before the General Assembly. Taalik has the qualifications to be taken serious. He's been consistent in his seriousness. He's a man that's not going to go into the UN and bite his tongue. He's going to express how he really feels. He won't modify his delivery. He won't flip the script, buck, bow, smile, and beguile. He'll let the power structure know how black people really feel and why they need restoration for the mental and spiritual destruction done to all of us. Go get him, wake him up in the middle of the night, and bring him to New York. He'll come in a clean but wrinkled undershirt with a loose-fitting collar. He might come in a robe, maybe in a suit. He might drive a truck to the UN. But you can rest assured, Taalik will be coming as himself. And once the world hears him, the fight for what black folks need will be over. It doesn't matter if Taalik is the opening or the keynote speaker. All you have to do is hear him, and you'll be hooked. What? Meet you at the old Autobahn so we can rally up and organize the people? Haven't you heard that place is always closed? The old ones in the power structure vowed that they would never again give the people that kind of space to assemble. They are scared of Malcolm's ghost now returning to the crime scene. That's why that place is always closed. This is Dusty Basement Studios, and we approve of this message.
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody.
We are in a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it go. Free your mind. What, dear? Because I keeps it real like that. I keeps it real.
So you have these idiots that tell us that we are not victims. And they tell us that because they don't want to accept responsibility and make proper choices for themselves. Just the very fact that Africans were born in America give you the first clue that victimization was going on. The very fact that our ancestors, we were placed here involuntarily, tell you somebody was victimized. That you were part of the commission of a crime against humanity. Now, to prove my points, I use as an example the law of the Caucasian people of this country. I'm going to use the law of the perpetrators of the crime themselves to make my point, to show you that the black man and woman of America was victims then, and you're still a victim right now. First of all, exactly what is a victim? Let's make it simple. A victim is one who has suffered great harm, whether it could be mental or physical injury, due to the commission of a crime or negligence on the part of another person. Please keep in mind that in many cases, the victim, him or herself, have suffered great injury, but they may have also become deceased. A victim don't necessarily have to be alive. So, in their place, a relative can represent them, or any other proper representative may pursue justice for that victim. As you know, there are many people who are murdered. There are many people who die in car accidents. They are deceased. But their family or a lawyer, somebody can represent those who have passed this life. So just because you are deceased don't mean that you can't be a victim. So, and that person that represents you can pursue justice, which will, the consequence or the result, if you pursue the charges, criminal charges, the one who caused that person's death or that harm, they could go to jail, be given the death penalty, or in a civil court, you can win money, and that money will be granted to the relatives. Look, the money can be granted to the relatives of the deceased. That money goes to their estate, which means it will go to that person's relatives, wife, children, whoever inherits the deceased person's estate. or the money, the reward, the award that is won in the court, that becomes part, that is the estate. Most times in court, the victim is known as the plaintiff. Now, I want y'all to, I don't want to try to bore you. I want to try to make this point. And keep these points in mind so when these wackos come to you with this foolishness, oh, black folks, they ain't no victims, then you can tell them to get the hell out of your face. In court, the victim is known as the plaintiff. The plaintiff is the one who filed a complaint bringing an allegation directed towards the defendant. The defendant is the person accused of committing the crime or other offense. I am a plaintiff. I accuse the white man of atrocities against black people 400 years ago, and I accuse them of doing the same things in a different manner right now, today. So I would be the plaintiff, and the United States of America would be the defendant. For one to become a victim doesn't always mean that you can see your injury. Look, listen now. Just because you can't see the injury doesn't mean that you're not injured. For an example, a child that is very young and their mother was murdered, they are a victim. But the child does not know, is too young to know that they are a victim. So the child continues to behave like a normal child because they can't comprehend, they don't know what's going on. That's your problem, brothers and sisters. You don't know that you're a victim. You can't comprehend, you just don't know. A person that is dying from the side effect of some drug can go years and years and years and don't know. Look like everybody else, look healthy and everything. You don't know that you're injured. In the case of those of us who are born the descendants of slaves in America, it is very ignorant and silly on our part to listen to a nation of people whose ancestors and they themselves, even today, you can see cases of crimes against humanity. Why would you listen to these people who are enslavers, who sit around, drop bombs? As I speak, they are planning on dropping bombs on Iran. They're always planning murder, exploiting, doing something to somebody. But this is the land that's supposed to be so peaceful. If it's so peaceful, how come you act so savage, so brutal, and you go broke trying to kill people? Every bomb they dropped on Libya, every bomb cost $500,000. Oh, woo! Do you really believe that these people, or have you ever heard of anybody being honest when they are being sued, when there are thousands or millions of dollars at stake? See, that's the problem here. See, y'all don't know what's at stake here. You really, see, you don't know your past. You really don't know what's going on. You are naive like the little young child. You don't know that your mother was murdered. So you just acting like nothing happened. And then here you are an adult. You're grown, but you have a childish mentality. That's why you get so angry, you pout and everything like a child. Do you really believe that these people would tell you to stand for yours and that you are a victim when they know that if you really pursued it, that you would win, and the monies that all these black folks would win in courts over reparations, the financial balance would be, it would give us a big favor, because all the money would fall in our hands. They don't want you with nothing. They don't want you to have economic power, because some of us are stupid. We would win money just like we do in the lottery, run around and get the money right back to white folks. But they know that those of us who are pursuing reparations, they know we plan on building our neighborhoods, building ourselves, looking for lands and friends elsewhere. They don't want you to be like that. These people are slick, and you fall for it because you don't know no better. So they want you to be satisfied with the little crumbs that we get as a people, and be satisfied in the trough that they cause us to be in, when we can be better, and we are all better because we are and have been the victims. We are victims ourselves, and our relatives for 400 years have been victims. They don't want you to see this, because they are slick. They are deceivers. There's a reason why the people of this land are called devils, not only by black Muslims, but they are called Satan all over the earth, because that's what they are. Deceivers. They don't want you to have what you earn due to your suffering. The courts are used because in this society, people, not only black folks, but all the people in this country, they refuse to make proper choices and accept responsibility for the things that they do. When they know, many of these people know they're wrong. Large corporations and wealthy individuals, they go to court and tie the litigation up for years and years and years, hoping that somebody who is poor, they can't hang. So maybe your case is dismissed, or you will settle because you can't handle the long fight. You'll settle for less than what your case is worth, or they will deny you access to the court system, period. There are many black people in this nation who have done great research. They are ready to go to court and fight for reparations, but these folks won't let you do that because you will win. They don't want you to have nothing, because if these people go to court and win this money, I will tell you, even the so-called Uncle Tom, the Sambo, they will go to court. See, they talk all that garbage, but the Sambo and the Uncle Toms, the dark Europeans, they will go to court, do the research, go to court, and try to get some money for their family too. They so fake. I don't even like talking about Sambos and dark Europeans because they are really fake. But see, those who are in power, they know that if you let one Negro come to court and win reparations, everybody else going to start trying to do it. They're not stupid. In a society like this, where an entire nation is guilty of the victimization of an entire people, where it became wealthy. This nation became wealthy and powerful due to the commission of a crime against humanity. Do you truly believe that these people and their children who inherited stolen goods, do you think they would tell you, and they stole you and they stole your labor, exploited you for 400 years? Do you really think that they're going to tell you that you are a victim? Of course not. That's common sense. The so-called Negro or Black American, the dark European, they will laugh while they put their arms around their best white friend. And they would take their gun and point it at you and me and would tell you, look, I ain't no victim. They'll tell you all about their white friends, their education, their money, and their other material wealth. They'll tell you, this is America. All you have to do is work hard, and you can have success. Success is always material things. Success is always being under the control of Caucasian people. Again, remember what I said. Being a victim doesn't always mean that an injury can be easily seen or noticed. Sometimes you can become injured and don't even know it. For example, there was a lady who walked into a store and she had a knife in the back of her skull. She had no idea that a knife, now can you imagine this? She had a knife in the back of her skull. The doctor said when they removed it, if that knife had went in just a little bit deeper, it would have severed her spine. She had no idea. These Sambos, these so-called Uncle Toms, these coons, these dark Europeans, they have no idea they are victims at all. Walking around with a knife in the back of their head, close to their spine. They have no idea. Brothers and sisters, your victimization began as soon as our ancestors' feet were placed on the soil of this country. Even after so-called freedom, the ex-slaves continued to suffer. During slavery, the slave was denied religion as well as the right to be educated. What did one that had no soul? We had no soul, so since the white man said we don't have any souls, what do we need religion for? So we were denied religion, and since the only thing we're going to do is manual labor, what do you need an education for to lift that bale, pick that cotton? There's no need for no education. This was a crime against humanity. This crime in America was made a way of life. Do you understand? Can y'all comprehend? This was a way of life. It was made legal. And speaking of religion, the church, y'all Christian folks, the church approved of it. These men, women, and children, for hundreds of years, not for 30 years, 30 days, 30 months, they lived this life for 300 years. Oh, wow. You don't feel nothing for them, do you? No, you don't. Because you don't think that you're a victim. And so, since you're not a victim, you can't, what's the word I'm looking for? You can't sympathize with your own relatives 400 years ago. You don't even feel nothing for yourself in today's society. The black man and woman, the ex-Africans, turned into beasts of burden, just like a cow, treated like a chicken or a hog. When the perpetrators decided to give the slave religion, the religion that was given to slaves was designed to occupy the slave's mind so that the slave can have God, but was content with being a slave. Still happening today. You don't understand that you're a victim and you are content being under the rule of a people who are unrighteous. Oh, wow. The slave suffered during this period of time great humiliation, beatings, rapes, castrations, torn featherings, as well as many other horrors they don't even talk about, that you and I don't even really know. They watered down the history so we can't cry for ourselves, because if you really knew our history, brothers and sisters, now you would cry like a baby and you couldn't stop crying. Now, after an eternal war between the North and the South, these brothers, they went to war with one another. And the result was so-called freedom for our people. The war, the Civil War, was fought to preserve the Union. It had nothing to do with fighting to end slavery. The slavery issue came because the North used it to gain support for themselves. That's the reason why. Abraham Lincoln made it quite clear. If it was possible to keep slavery and preserve the Union, he would have done it. But they continue to tell this lie that Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves and all this other kind of madness. Actually, I heard that they do teach that in college, the truth of the matter. But in general society, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, good old Honest Abe. There was nothing honest about Honest Abe. He was the leader of a nation that practiced slavery, a crime against humanity. Don't you consider your ancestors human beings? Don't you believe that they should have some type of justice? Aren't you their relative? Oh, you have been tricked. You have been deceived. You have been injured with a knife in the back of your skull and you don't even know it. You're a victim and don't even know it. Smiling, skinning, and grinning. Blood running all by down your neck. Don't even know there's a knife in your back. So when the slaves was so-called free, and we must remember, if a man can give you freedom and you did not obtain that freedom yourself, the same people that gave you freedom can take your freedom away from you and they can control your freedom. And you and I, we are a controlled people under somebody else's law that we didn't have nothing to do with. The law is not diverse. The policy is not diverse. You are not diverse. We were turned into, from slaves to dark-skinned versions of them. That's why we can easily say, God bless America, land that I love. How can you love a land that castrated your fathers, raped your grandmothers, and did so much evil? They committed crimes against humanity and have not been punished. How can you love a criminal? Oh, wow. Woo! They don't want you to hear the truth. They don't want your minds open. So the slave was given this pitiful freedom. And the slave was given nothing. The slave was not rehabilitated. The slave was not given land. The slave was not given the proper resources for a people who only knew manual labor. You was out there to try to make it survive the best way that you could. So without rehabilitation, you began to suffer even more. The slave was not rehabilitated, only physically free to suffer more abuse, minus the chains. In fact, many will return to the chains because many of our brothers and sisters, especially the black man, many black males, false charges was brought against them, and they were placed in these work prisons, forced to work for free on the railroad and these mines. Brothers disappeared, never to be seen again. In 2012, now listen to this. Now that was right after so-called freedom. Right now, it is reported that out of all the missing persons in America, the majority of missing persons in America are black. But we are not victims. Why are we disappearing? How come we are missing? Just like those brothers was missing, put into these prisons, disappearing. What is happening to us? Why are we missing? I'm trying to give us, I want you to think. Break out of this fantasy that you live in. You are a victim. Brothers and sisters, we are victims. We were victims then, and we're still victims. And you don't know it. You can't see your injury, but somebody else can see the blood coming from the back of your neck. You have a knife in your skull. When you go to court, you're asking for relief. The intent is not to make you an instant millionaire. The intent when you go to court is to make you whole again. Regain only the value of what you lost. For an example, if you broke my CD and it was only worth $3, I can only expect to get $3, not a brand new $20 disc. What makes you a victim is that someone has injured you where you are no longer a whole person. Of course, the ignorant will quickly tell you, dude, man, you crazy than ever. You acting like a bat out of hell. I ain't no dang victim. The descendants of slaves born in America, you are not whole. We are the victims of theft. We are the victims of a crime against humanity. And the United States of America, the United Snakes of America, has never paid for what it has done to us. In fact, they are arrogant because they believe they have gotten away with a crime against humanity. Again, are you human? Did this happen to us? Was somebody punished? No, it wasn't. You are a victim. We are victims. Our ancestors was brought here against their will. During that time, they were robbed of the knowledge of self, denied religion, denied education, terrorized, humiliated, raped, lynched, and suffered untold horrors, things we don't even know nothing about. After being physically freed, the masses was given no type of lands or other resources, still lynched, still castrated, still raped, discriminated against. our ancestors as well as ourselves have not been rehabilitated, not to show how to develop business, create our laws and finance, not directed toward the lost information about our ancestors. We were encouraged to become a black version of them. So if we are not rehabilitated and return back to our African self, then we are not made whole. You can go to court when somebody have injured you so that you can regain what you lost so that you can be made whole. You speak not one word of any African language. In fact, you are ashamed to be black. You are ashamed to be African, to have anything to do with Africans, because they have painted Africans and black as something nasty and filthy. Nothing to be proud of. You continue to name your children after the white man, and you know that the name that you have and the name you giving your children was names from the slave master, but you still do it with pride. And you think that you're not injured? That's just like a woman who is raped and she have a child, she named that child after the rapist. You are a victim. You are a victim of a crime against humanity. You are a porn fiend, sex addict, pedophile, a drunk. You like beer, drugs, and other intoxicants. You homosexual, all these different behaviors. They come from being a victim in this society. As an African, there is no evidence to suggest that you was a drunk, that you was a prostitute and a pimp and a gang member, all this other stuff that we are. It all came from being a victim in this society. It did not come from Africa. So if the white man don't like black folks, they need to get mad at themselves, get mad at their ancestors, because you made us what we are. We are Frankenstein's monster. None of this, of what we are, came from Africa. It all came, our only teacher, our only example is Caucasian people. And what kind of example have you been? A warmonger, a drunk, a pedophile, all these things I just mentioned. Sex fiend, dog, going to sleep with dogs and all kinds of nasty behaviors. Learn it all from these people here. You are a victim. You are dependent upon the white man for your food, your clothes, for jobs, for your education, everything. You don't know how to do nothing for yourself. And in fact, you are filled with self-hatred. You don't love other black folks. Your loyalty is to those who put you in the condition that you're in and made us Frankenstein's monster. And you don't think that you're not sick? You don't think that you're not a victim? Oh, Lord. Woo! In religion, they would say, Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. Gang member, the Crips and the Bloods. You learn that from watching gangster movies and what white folks did, the mafia and all like that. There was no gangs and all like that. We didn't learn that from no Africans. Gender confused. We sitting around here and some of y'all brag about sucking vagina, sucking penises, and you got dogs and cats living all in your house. You learn all that from them, living in this society, messing around with these animals. And you love white Jesus. You love Jesus. Ain't nowhere in Africa they taught you about no Jesus. But you love Jesus more than white folks do. And you got the nerve to even try to tell the white man that he wrong about how he teach about Jesus. You can't see that you are a victim. He's the one that gave Jesus and the Bible all that stuff to you. I could go on and on and on because we have become nothing but black-skinned versions of Europeans. Because we have never been rehabilitated, we've never been made whole. And we are the victims of a crime. Denied justice. If you were whole, if you ever become whole, then you'll be proud to return back to the lands of your ancestors. You would want to try to seek Africa, but instead you are a proud dark European, a version of your oppressor. And just like the slaves of the past, except now some of y'all make millions of dollars. Y'all got white girlfriends and husbands and wives, and oh boy, we're moving on up to the east side. Oh, we finally got a piece of the pie, don't you? You only got crumbs. You don't know what a pie looks like. The only thing we've had is the crumbs. And then they use the ones who got a little against the ones who don't have nothing to keep us all messed up, so you don't realize that you're a victim, that you've been bamboozled, that you've been tricked, that you've been deceived. And we go for it because you're a victim and you don't even know it. You can't see yourself, but I'm here to bring you your reality, and I'm going to show you that you're sick. I'm going to show you that you're a victim. You think things have gotten better for you because you can play Nintendo. You can smoke some weed. It has gotten even so bad. Malcolm X talked about the house Negro and the field Negro. But it has gotten so bad for us that even the field Negro, because he can smoke some weed, because he can play Nintendo, because he can put rims on his car, he don't understand. He's content being in the field now. Things will get better one day. You don't understand that you are a victim. You are a victim due to a crime against humanity. We have been made inhuman. And they let us know all the time when they shoot us down in the streets and there's no justice. Been doing it for 400 years. You don't really expect the racist Caucasian people of this nation to tell you that you are a victim when, if they were just people, if they were righteous people, if they was good as you claim, then they would allow you access to the courts so that you may attempt to make yourself whole and get justice for our ancestors who were treated like hell for over 300 some years. And I want to say this in my conclusion. I want you to listen to me now. All right, listen to me. I'm bringing it on in. I'm reeling it on in, okay? I hope I'm catching some fish tonight. Under the law of this nation, you can sue for your own injury as well as a relative, living or dead. This even goes a little bit further. Under criminal law, now listen, you got your thinking caps on, I want y'all to check this out. I'm using the white man's law. See, the white man, these racist Caucasian people, this is their law. But they won't let you have access to the law because they are lawless. This is a an illusion of justice, an illusion of righteousness. For them, but for you, they don't want to give you nothing. But under their criminal law, check this out. You as a relative, you can seek justice for your people, living or dead, or if they are incapacitated, they cannot function on their own. Under criminal law, there is no statute of limitations for murder. So the government itself should be brought up on crimes against humanity. And since a convicted felon cannot profit from their crime, any profit this nation has gotten from a crime against humanity, it goes to the victim. Y'all don't know what you're missing. You don't know what you're losing. This is under their law. This is why they don't want you to view yourself as a victim. Because if you really push for it, the wealth of this nation would flip-flop. Their businesses will become your businesses. Their landmarks will become your landmarks. Everything that they got will become yours. You will become the head Negro in charge. Woo! And if y'all will wake up and use their laws against them, or expose them for the deceivers that they are, these people mean you no good. Keep believing them if you want. And after this happens, all that stuff they call you inferior, make mockery of you make mockery of us for generations, all that stuff will stop, because you can still call me Negro. Well, not Negro, you know the N-word. You can still call me a monkey and an ape, but I got everything you used to have is mine now. How you like that? And you work for me now. Now I will control things in here now. Because for over 400 years, you ran things. And you became rich and wealthy off my ancestors' back. And you exploited and discriminated and hurt us for all these years. Now it's time for you to get a dose of your own medicine. But I want to say this in my conclusion. If something like that did happen, brothers and sisters, whether it happens that way, which I really doubt, but I'm telling you that you're a victim, we truly do not want to be like them. We don't want to be like our oppressors. Where they were unjust, we want to be just. Where they was unfair, we want to be fair. Where they was unequal, we want to be equal. And we can change the world if we change ourselves. But just think about what I said. There is no statute of limitations for murder. How many of our people did this nation murder? This nation should be brought up for charges of crimes against humanity. Not only back then, but they are still committing crimes against humanity right now. When will the United States be punished for the evil that they do? So it's going to take a God to come and deal with these people. And the reason why I exist and the reason why we are awakening is because God, in religion, the way they talk about it, a new knowledge and awakening has come. And that God is you and me. It is all of us who seek that which is right. It is time for right to enter the world, and it's time for wrong to get the hell out of Dodge. These people are fake righteous folks. They don't want right. Only as long as it keeps them where they are at, they don't mind. But if it takes them out of their comfort zone, makes it so they can't control nothing, they don't like it. It's time to take them out of power. It's time for their world to go down because their world ain't right. And now it's time for right. And for all you Christians out there, you should be on the bandwagon to get rid of that which is not right. But just like the Christians that supported slavery, you are like them. And your Jesus, according to the scriptures, upon the return of Jesus, Jesus is to return and clean up his own house. And y'all Christians going to be the first one to get dealt with. So I would not want to believe that if I was you, because you are on the wrong side of the law. And it ain't the white man's law. It's the law of God. It's the law of justice. And that's what time it is right now. It ain't about hatred. It ain't about disliking somebody. It's about right and wrong. Either you're right or you're wrong. These people are wrong. This nation is guilty of crimes against humanity. We are the #1 victims. How can you love a criminal? But then you sit around here and judge all the little criminals going in and out of jail, but you love and will fight and die for the ultimate criminal, the ultimate devil. You should be ashamed of yourself. Thank you for listening, brothers and sisters. I just wanted to bring that to you. You are victims. We are victims, whether you know it or not. Some of you realize that you are victims now. Some of these people, like I say, they don't know, don't care. They don't know that they are victims. So you let them keep sliding on and doing what they do. But for those of us who are awakened, those of us who will embrace the truth, let us continue to spread that truth and awaken the masses of the people. And hopefully humanity will get rid of itself of this parasite, this virus that has been a thorn in the side of humanity for generations. Peace, fam, and always respect you. And until next time, thank you for listening. I am Angel Snub 7. Y'all have a good night, or day, or morning. Peace, fam, and always. And you are in the house of reality. I am the most powerful voice on YouTube. This is the Reality's Temple on earth. And I am the mighty Angel Snub 7. Your brother and hopefully your friend, Taalik Ibn'rad. There's an old saying or an old quote, and I will probably paraphrase that quote, because at some point you probably heard it before, but I believe it was President Kennedy, correct me, but one of these American presidents told the American people, those who don't know their past are doomed to repeat it. I'm going to say it again, because yes, this comes from a Caucasian person, but wisdom can come from any source. And we make a mistake to reject advice and wisdom because we don't like the vessel that truth comes in. But this person is absolutely correct that if you don't know your past, you are doomed to repeat it. So here we are, the black community in 2012, because we don't know our past. We think we do, but we don't. Actually, we are in a worse condition than we were just a few years ago in the 1960s. And the reason why we are in a worse condition is because we think that we finally made it. We believe that we finally made it to the mountaintop because we are married to white people. We have a nice car. We can play Nintendo. Oh, wow. It's just, the world is so wonderful. But yet and still, our young children can't walk down the street without being shot down like a dog like this was the 1960s. In fact, it's worse because we shoot ourselves down. So I don't know why these racists are killing us when we are doing just as good of a job, if not better, than they used to do. And that's just the truth of the matter. Now, I am always told, and I know that you are always told, from many Caucasian people and others, and what we are told is that we, as the descendants of slaves born in America, that we should forget the past. Forget the past and move on. Those who don't know the past are doomed to repeat it. How can we forget the past when we don't know the past? Who said that we know the past? We were stripped of the knowledge of self. The black man and woman in America, we were our ancestors. We as a people, we were robbed of the knowledge of self. We no longer worship our God, practice our religion. We don't speak our language. We don't know what kind of foods our ancestors ate. We don't know their culture. We don't know anything about our past. The only thing we know about is this history of the struggle of a slave in America. And we really don't know that because it's been watered down to make you believe that you went through all this and now everything is all right. But reality always kick you in the butt. And you have a case like Trayvon, and you have other brothers and sisters shot down in the street like dogs to show you that you have not made it, that things are still the same. It's just the way that the game is played has changed. But you don't know that because you don't know your past. So these people want you, brothers and sisters, and myself, forget the past and move on. But yet it's still, a wise white man told his people, those who don't know the past are doomed to repeat it. Why do you believe they want you to forget the past? First of all, you don't know the past. But if you ever do, they want you to move on. Why is that? Do you know why? Because they want you to move on. Because there is something there they don't want you to see. You ever notice? That's the strategy of the high pressure salesperson. Many of you have been through this. I know I have. Somebody trying to sell you something. And then they trying to rush you. Sign the contract. Don't read the fine print. People want you to move on. Just let's sign it. We got a deal going. Sign it. They don't want you to take your time, read the contract, and understand what you are involved in. Why is this? Because they are trying to deceive you. They are trying to trick you. They are hiding something. And if you knew your past, you really don't. What you know of is a slave history in America and it's watered down. You really don't know black slavery in America. You really don't know. And you really don't know anything prior to the enslavement of our ancestors. You really don't know. They want us to forget the past. First of all, they know we don't know the past. Because, brothers and sisters, if you really knew the past, if you really read the fine print in the contract, if you really understood what you was involved in, it'll get you angry as hell. So, I understand brothers and sisters who are angry and mad, because when you really understand what has happened to us as a people in this nation, every Caucasian person that you see, oh man, I know, because I used to feel that way. Because I didn't know. They watered down the history. They have lied to us, deceived us. They have not told us the reality of what we've been through. So they don't want you to recognize what you've been through. Forget the past. You got a Cadillac. You got a white woman. You got a white man on your arm. You smoke weed. You call each other nigger and you smile. See, you call yourself nigger. Everything is all right now. Happy, happy, joy, joy. And you don't even attempt to read the fine print. These are deceivers. These are tricksters. They would tell themselves, don't forget the past, and they don't. Every time you turn around, they're talking about 9/11. Every time you turn around, they're talking about the Holocaust. Every time you turn around, what George Washington did. Who forget the past? Move on. But they don't move on. But they want you to move on because they know we have been made a fool out of. And guess what? Who's still running who? With all your privileges, with all your Oprahs, with all your Bill Cosby's, all your Michael Jordans, all your Little Waynes. Who still run who? They still run you. You are still, and we are still in a slave position. There is no equality. There is no diversity. It is still separate. The white community, black community, Asian community, Haitian community, everybody is still separate and it is unequal. But because you don't understand your past, you don't understand your reality, and many of you don't want to know the real truth. Many of you don't want to know your past because when you begin to learn your past, the reality of that truth of knowing your past destroys the illusion of your lifestyle, your fake lifestyle that you live in today. It's fake. You are fake. You are nothing but a dark-skinned white man. And some of y'all holler black power family, and you nothing but a white man in the mind. Because if you understand your past, you act just like the oppressor. Your view of success is the way that the white man views success.
Black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody.
In a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it go. Free your mind.
It is truly an honor. And I will always tell us what makes this so magnificent is not only because of myself, I am magnificent. But see, all of us here are magnificent. All of you who come under this rostrum, there has to be something special about you in order for you to come and sit and listen for a half hour or hour or whatever under this type of speech that you don't hear nowhere else on social media or anywhere. It is different. It is more creative. It is outside the box. And in the situation that we find ourselves in, soul brothers and sisters, we need that in order to change the condition, because clearly those things of which we have become loyal to, those things that we find popular, they are not working for us. And we need to get out of this. We don't need to continue to hand this from generation to generation when this condition, this horrific condition that we find ourselves in, this confused, delusional, insane, violent condition that we find ourselves in, we don't have to pass that down to our babies. We can stop everything right here. If you want. I sometimes think that we really don't want to stop. We've become comfortable in oppression. So we want to talk about that a little bit and celebrate what I call Soul Liberation Day, hosted by Rashida Strober, special guest Tyrone Thompson of Real Talk Real, well, tongue-tied, Talk Real Solutions, Blog Talk Radio. And of course, myself giving the keynote address, and my subject will be the liberation of the mind and the need for one identity for these of whom I call the people of soul, the descendants of slaves born in America. You need one identity. There are too many descriptions and labels that the so-called Negro, the African Americans, the whatever, is too much out here. In order for these people, this group of persons who have similar circumstance, if you wish to move forward, then you must move forward as one. If you can't move forward as one, then you will never get anywhere. And I don't have to debate that issue. It's clearly that's a fact. Our subject for these few minutes, and I don't want to speak too long, is why are so-called black folks, why are soul people, rainbow folks, that's us, black people, African Americans, see, we so confused, we have so many names we go by. It's something has to be done about that in order for you to move forward. But we have a behavior problem here. And that problem is there is no balance in our behaviors when it comes to trying to solve and deal with this condition that we find ourselves as descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin. My subject is, why are blacks always trying to impress white folks? Why? I don't get it. Well, let's talk about it. Again, there's no balance in our behavior. The so-called Negro, we are either too far to the left or we are too far to the right of this issue. Some of us, as many of you describe, you describe a behavior called Uncle Tom, Coon, whatever. That's far to one side. Then you have another extreme side. Black power, hate whitey, and all this other stuff that y'all talking about. That's an extreme to another side. There is no balance in your thinking. And when there is no balance in your thinking, when you have extremism going far left and extremism going too far to the right, there is no balance in thought. This causes a condition called insanity. And so you have people of the earth looking at us in this condition that we find ourselves in, and they view us as insane. This one side thinking so far to the left, another side thinking so far to the right. One side so filled with hatred toward Caucasian people, pink people, I say. Why is that? In reality, hatred. I understand your dislike. We come from the same place. I understand that the Caucasian people have done some horrific things to us. I understand this. So your hate is justified, really. However, at the same time, you're not living in the manner where that hate really you should have, because I'm very sure you go to bed every night. You don't worry about Caucasian people knocking your door down and shooting you in the face. Even though you have racial profiling and you drive your car and some cracker cop pull you over or whatever, and we get our people, we get shot down in the streets and we suffer all these injustices and whatever. I'm pretty sure you really don't worry about it. There was a time, not too long ago, they worried about it. For real. And they should have had the hate and felt the hate that you do, but they didn't. They tolerated what had happened or was going to happen to them and just learn how to live in a violent society that hated their guts. You do that, you're comfortable in your oppression because you are not making any real effort except you listen to DVDs and you go to debates and things that you keep talking about, let's build a nation, let's build a nation. But you never talk about the nation of Liberia. Liberia is a nation that was founded by ex-slaves and free blacks. They are our ancestors. You don't have to go to Kemet. You don't have to be a Hebrew Israelite. You don't have to do none of that stuff. Our ancestors, their children are in Africa. You claim that's what you want to be. Go back to Africa. Go to Africa. And Africa, you obsessed with this African thing. Let's build our own nation. The nation has already been built. In fact, our ancestors, our people are now real Africans. They are on the continent, been there a long time. You don't talk about them at all, period. Why is that? Matter of fact, some of you make mockery of them. Oh, well, you know the white man did this. Whatever you do, the white man gonna do. You are using YouTube, the white man. You driving a car, the white man. Everything about you is the white man. What make you think that you're going to do better than what was done in Liberia? They had a civil war. You have a civil war right here. You can't even get on YouTube and disagree with somebody and you want to shoot somebody in the face. You want to hate somebody because they disagree with what you're talking about. What you think going to happen in your own nation? Even people that agree on something don't always agree, and that can cause somebody to get killed. But you can do better than Liberia. if you so great, you so better than what they done in Liberia, and they are our ancestors, they are our real blood. Or did you take, or did your DNA test tell you something different? Why don't you take your money? Why don't you take your time? You so smart, you have all the wisdom. Take it to your people, because they are our people for real. You want to unite with Africans. You want to unite with Ghana and Zimbabwe and the Congo. And there you are, your own real relatives right on the African continent, and you don't say a damn thing to them. Y'all so faking. See, I don't like that. I really don't. But you so Africanized. Blackity black, black, black. And let's go back to your hate that you have for Caucasian people, the so-called hate. Because if I hate somebody that much, I don't want to be around them. And you are not going nowhere. You're living with them. You eat the food they produce. You watch the television shows. Drink the water they bring to your house through their pipes. But yet and still, you hate somebody. If you hate somebody like that, then why do you remain among them? You're not making no attempt except talk. We need to build. We need to build. You don't have to keep saying we need to build. Just do it. You're doing nothing except running your mouth. And that's all you will ever do, because it's easier said than done. If you study the history of Liberia, remember, these people were slaves. These people were free people, but they were under somebody else. They didn't know. They were put in a situation where they had to either sink or swim. And you want to make mockery of them, but they made it. They swam. They exist. You have nothing but talk. They are Africans, if that's what you want to be. You are not. You are still a Negro American, pretending to be Kemetic, pretending to be Hebrew Israelite. You are the great pretender. That's all you are a pretender. And you put on these costumes, bow ties and all these other things that y'all like to wear, all these costumes like they do in Halloween, because you are not Batman, you're not Robin, you're not Wonder Woman. These are costumes. And you want to be a Muslim, you want to be Kemetic, you want to be Hebrew Israelite, you want to be all this other stuff that y'all have made up, and you put on your costume. Costume wearers. Halloween is 24 hours a day for you. And you go on YouTube and you go on Facebook and you keep talking about dead folks all the time. Oh, Malcolm X did this, the Honorable Marcus Garvey and Dr. King, and you keep talking about dead folks all the time. Harriet Tubman said, if I freed 1,000 slaves, I could have freed 1,000 more if they were. And you ignore living people. This tells us a lot about your mentality. You will praise the dead, but give the living hell. You will worship those who really don't want nothing to do with you, and ignore your actual relatives that you don't know what could happen if you reached out and helped your people where you claim you want to be. You say you want to be an African. So you can go there to Liberia. That should be the first place you want to go. Your real relatives. But y'all so fake. And you feel delusions and fantasy. And you wonder why people laugh at us. You wonder why there is no progress. Confused. But see, I'm not angry. What do you expect from a slave? That's all you ever know. I don't care how much black power you say. I don't care how much Kemetic. I don't care how much Hebrew you think that you are, or Nuwabian and all this other stuff. When the bottom line is, you're slave. And that's all you ever been. That's all you ever know. They cannot comprehend what I bring from this rostrum is because the mind has become free. I am no longer a slave to nothing. I'm not a slave to the teachings, because y'all love teaching. You will never see a bunch of books behind me. Y'all love books and DVDs. Books are written by men. Anything that a man writes has a potential to be fallible, has error and flaw. But y'all, all of what the scholars say, Dr. Henry Clark said, Dr. Ben said, Dr. Amos Wilson, the doctor say, and you all hooked up on that stuff. Where is it? Where has it done for you? Where's it getting you? Nowhere. It makes you feel good, though. Makes you feel smart. That's what it does. It makes you feel smart. And see, when you're a slave, you want to feel smart, because as a slave, you're nothing. So you want something to make you feel better about yourself. So you don't want to hear nobody tell you, well, you know, your history started with slavery. You don't want nobody to tell you that. That's the reality. That's what happened. That's how you was created. Slavery created the so-called Negro, the African Americans, the black race. Slavery done that. That's our beginning, whether you like it or not. You can dress it up in your costume. Now, so we have a behavior. You hate Caucasian people so much, but that hate, that energy that you get from the hate, is still not getting you nowhere. The ones who should have had that feeling of hate was the ones that was actually could not sleep at night, because there was a great potential that their door could be knocked open and your husband killed and the wife raped. But they didn't have that type of hate. Here you are, you're so filled with hatred or whatever, and your hatred makes you where you become just like those of whom you dislike, which becomes another problem. Why you want to be like the one that you hate, but you have become just like the ones that you hate. They believe in white supremacy and you believe in black supremacy. You become just like them. And that's not a coincidence, because them is all you know. And so if you destroy white supremacy, then you will have black supremacy. So that means white supremacy really never died. It never really was destroyed. The only thing white supremacy did was change color. That's all it done, because you are just like your massa. Yeah, we want to talk about that. You're just like your massa. There are those, that's an example of some of us who go too far to one side. So filled with hatred, black power, you know, act just like Caucasian people do. If you take the black out of it and the African out of it, just put white on there, you can't tell the difference between white supremacy and black supremacy. Both are the same. The behavior and the mindset is the same. Oh, the melanin is so great, and we genetically do this, and same type of talk, same kind of stuff that the racists talk. We are better than everybody. Oh no, the Chinese didn't do this. Oh no, the Japanese didn't do it. Oh, the Indians. It's all about black, black, black. Just like your slave master. It's all about European. It's all about Western civilization. It's all about them. You become just like them. Nobody cares about simply being a human being. Then we have those who go to another side and they kiss racists in the backside. And I have been accused of that. Excuse me here. I've been accused of, can you believe it? All my life, even as a child, I've done something by myself to fight white supremacy. As a child, I didn't need a group. I took actions by myself and still continue to take actions by myself. I have no problem with that. There is no Caucasian person that's going to tell you that I like them. None. I've had a confrontation and interaction with them all my life. I was 7, 8 years old, and I would not stand up for the American flag once I found out what it represented by myself. Hundreds of people in my school, I'm the only one that would not pledge allegiance by myself. Wasn't scared. I'm not doing it. As a child, many of you are adults and you have not really done nothing against white supremacy. You never stood against white supremacy. If white supremacy give you a parking ticket, you're going to automatically pay the ticket. You're not going to fight white supremacy. You're going to pay your taxes. You're going to be a good Negro. But yet and still you want to talk about somebody is a coon and somebody is a shine, but you do nothing as a rebel against white supremacy. Who you think you're fooling? You're not fooling them and you're not fooling me. That's why many of them stay away from me, because I know that you're fake. Going to jail ain't pretty. These suckers will put you in jail, put you in prison. They will put a bullet in your head. They're not no joke, and you know it. That's why you won't mess with them. That's why the only thing that you would do is talk. Let's build a nation. You ain't gonna build nothing. You need to fix that old doghouse you got in the back. You can't even fix the doghouse that you got in your backyard, but you're gonna build a nation. You don't control your neighbor. You don't control the block on your neighborhood. You don't control your neighborhood. You ain't did nothing in your neighborhood. You ain't did nothing in your town. You've done nothing in your city. You've done nothing for your state, but you're gonna build a nation. How are you going to build a nation when you can't even control your neighborhood? You've built no town. You built no city. You control no state, but you're gonna build a nation. Get out. That's why they stay away from me, because I'm not going to let you talk stupid like that here. But with all that hate that you have, you would think that you can accomplish such. You should have all that energy. You don't fool me at all. And that's why they stay away from me. And that's good. You stay away from me because you're fake. The only thing that you can do coming here is bring your fakeness here. And some have come here. You ain't ready for this. I'm too real. What's that song about Earth, Wind, and Fire? What's that verse? I'm too real. I'm too real for you. So you have these persons who have another extreme, and they talk about, they trying to work the system and try to be nice and just live their life. And y'all call them coons. They want to vote. They voting, and some of them even married pink folks, and they just trying to live life. And you call them Uncle Toms and coons and whatever. There's a problem with that also. And the problem is, I don't care how many Caucasian people you marry. I don't care how many football contracts you got, you a big shot entertainer, I don't care who you are, sooner or later you're going to get, as they say, your wake-up call. There is a dislike for descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin. That's just the bottom line. We are not liked. They tolerate you because you have $1 million. They tolerate you because you sing and dance. They tolerate you, but you're still not liked. And when it gets to the point where they have to make a move on you, ask Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was America's beloved father. But then here comes some Caucasian women with some allegations, and look how quickly they turn on America's beloved father. Did they give him the benefit of a doubt? No, the only thing they saw is this Negro exploiting white women. That's the only thing on their mind. That's all they saw. How dare you take our women like that, and how? That's all on their mind. Now, for somebody like Bill Cosby, was this a wake-up call? No, he's still going to skin and grin. And all these always, no matter how we are treated, we still going to skin and grin in these people's face. And the reason for that is because we are victims of abuse. And we fear them. That's why you can't build a nation, because you fear what they're going to do. You fear the obstacles that they're going to put in your path. That's why you can't progress, because you actually fear them. You say you don't, but you don't fool me. I know better. I know you're scared. And believe me, there's nothing wrong with being scared of these people. These people have nuclear bombs. They might have your own cousin. They have your cousins and your uncles and aunts and mothers in the military. They give them the order. They will come and kill you if given the order. So you're dealing with an enemy. There should be no shame. Yeah, you should fear them. Don't sit around here and fake the funk. I ain't scared of no white man. You're a damn lie. Because if you wasn't afraid, your actions would show it. And there's nothing wrong with being afraid. I'm afraid of snakes, poison snakes. I'm afraid to get poisoned. I'm not going to lie about that. Matter of fact, I'm scared of rats. Not the fact that I know I could beat the hell out of a rat, but if that rat bites me and that rat so happens to have rabies, I got some problems on my hands. So there's a reason why you fear. It's natural to fear, because whatever it is, it's dangerous and it can hurt you or take your life. There's nothing wrong with it. Stop all this old stuff. Like, I only fear nothing but God. Hey, get out of here. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with fear. The problem is fear interrupts, and it causes an inappropriate reaction, because we're not thinking due to fear. So we really don't know what to do. We act out of emotion rather than thinking about what it is that's causing us fear and how to deal with this in a proper manner. So I've been called a coon. Hey, you can call me you can call me Jay, you can call me Ray, maybe you want to call me May. You can call me what. Your childish name calling don't mean nothing to me, because you cannot prove I'm some coon or Uncle Tom or nothing. But I have been called that because I represent justice, and I don't care who you are. I'm going to give you justice. I'm going to give you justice, whether you're a Caucasian, whether you're a so-called black person or Indian or Chinese. I don't care. I'm going to, regardless whether you give me justice or not, because I'm not going to be like those of whom I complain about. I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to allow you to tell lies on other people because you don't like them. Okay, Caucasian people done terrible things. We have that established. Also, on the other end, there are many examples where black folks, the Africans, have also done terrible things. I'm very sure right now to this day, people who are alive will tell you some of the horrific things black folks have done to them. So of course, the argument is, well, what white folks do things more, more evil or whatever. Let me tell you something. Whether you get shot and die by one bullet or you get shot 100 times, makes no difference, you're dead. That's the bottom line. You're dead. So perhaps Caucasian people like to shoot and waste bullets, 100 bullets. Pow, 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 pow. It only takes one bullet to kill you. They want to shoot you 100 times. And see, the reason why they shoot you 100 times is to put fear in other people. Because the person that was shot is dead. But they want to shoot you 100 times and destroy your body to put fear in those who are looking. I don't want to be part of that. The person who is dead will never see their body all shot up. It's over. They want to put fear in you, and that's what it's all about. Not only in America, but around the world, those who are in rulership, leadership positions, and even in religion, they use fear to control you. You better obey God. Why? Because you'll go to hell. Punishment. You'll burn forever. Fear. It's all about fear. Fear equates to control. And you don't understand how to control fear. So you just act out of emotion because you don't want to get hurt. I don't want to go to hell. You want to do what you want to do, but at the same time, you don't want the punishment. I don't want to get shot 100 times. Fear was used to control and keep those slaves in control. So I would take Kunta Kinte and I would whip him in front of everybody. This is what you get if you act like Kunta Kinte. And that's enough for many of you. If you act like Malcolm X, you see what happened? You want to get all high and mighty like Dr. King? All right. Keep the slaves, keep the victims in check by fear. I'm called a coon because I give people justice. I'm called a coon and Uncle Tom because I have questions and people they can't answer the questions. Like, say for instance, there are things that I have to say about Caucasian people, and I've heard things from Black scholarship conscious people or whatever. And for example, many of you talk about, the white man is the devil. Okay. He's a devil by nature. That's what y'all say. Okay. The white man is a devil by nature. In order to prove that the white man is a devil by nature, you must observe the white man in his natural environment. That's the only way that you can really say that's their nature. But you have never seen a Caucasian person in their natural environment. What you have observed is a conditioning of the mind of the leadership. They are being taught to think and act a certain way. And that's not nature. That's being conditioned to behave and act in a certain manner. That's not nature. Just like a dog. And I might use dog for an example because folks like dogs. Some people believe that it's natural for dogs to bark. but it's not. That behavior of barking by dogs is something that was inbred in them by domestication. Dogs come from wolves, and wolves bark now and then. You never really hear wolves bark, but they do. It would be detrimental for an animal to bark the way dogs do, because in nature, you are drawing attention to yourselves, and you might draw the wrong attention. Your best bet is to be quiet. But men domesticated dogs to be like burglar alarms, to let them know when danger is approaching or whatever, and whatever. But that's not natural for a dog to bark the way they do. But we think that it is, because that's all we've seen from the dog. But we don't observe. But you have not observed. Dogs come from wolves, and you will not see this type of behavior in the wolf. It's domesticated behavior. So how can you say and be truthful, since y'all stand for the truth and you don't want to present a lie, but you don't mind lying on Caucasian people because the white man's the devil and he did the slavery thing and blah 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 blah. You should not want to or wish to promote lies regardless. They have enough stuff that's true that you can talk about. You don't have to add lies and things that just don't make no sense. Then, of course, they said that the nature of the black man is righteousness. I'm not even going to go there. This is right, really, yeah. That's your nature, yeah. Again, the problem is, if you want to talk about nature, then you need to observe that creature, that animal, that life in its natural environment prior to slavery, some kind of domestication. That's the only way that you can say that's animal's nature. But when you have domestication, slavery, things of this nature, religious beliefs involved, people are no longer in their natural state of mind. So you can't say that. Then we have those people that talk about all white people involved in slavery. That's not true either. In fact, it was a certain minority that actually participated in chattel slavery. Now, there are Europeans that benefited, but that was because slavery was legal and it was acceptable all over the earth, and slaves was viewed as property. So so slaves was no different than cotton or corn or rice or goats or nothing like that. And even your African folks was involved and they benefited from all this. That's a fact. King Noble said. So, but all was not. A-L-L, you said all. That's not a true statement. And I have been waiting for 10 years for somebody to show me how all white people are devils and all white people was involved in the chattel slavery trade. I have yet to see nobody really show me this information, because if they do, I can accept being in error. I have not seen it. Now, I don't know how I got off of that, because that really wasn't my subject that I really wanted to touch on. But I want to, well, actually it was. Just a little bit. I want to talk about, again, from one side, one extreme side to another. It was a brother, my brother Alquan. He was on my Google Hangout a week or so ago, I believe. It's been a week, 2 weeks, I guess, something like that now. And Brother Alquan believes that it is education. Education is the key to the progress of the so-called Negro, the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin. The key is education. But see, I want to say to you, Brother Alquan, and all of you who believe education is the key, is the solution. I want to remind us that we've had education coming straight from out of the Civil War. I want to remind you that the slaves coming straight up out of the Civil War, coming straight out of slavery, physical slavery, they progressed and began to build themselves education in whatever form that they could find. They built themselves to a point where they was actually progressing faster and doing better than the poor Caucasian people or the middle class Caucasian people. That's why those angry Southern crackers got angry, because here you have slaves, illiterate, they could not read and write or whatever. They found a way to actually progress faster than them, and they had to stop it. We were already, way back then, we was already involved in politics. We was already involved. We was getting our education. All this was already going on, Brother Alquan. All of this was going on. Later on, you would have Black Wall Street. Right now, you have scientists. We are scientists. We're lawyers. We're stockbrokers. Anything that you can imagine, we are already that. That's not the problem. Education is not the problem. Now, there is a vast shortage of African Americans men who don't attend college or whatever. That's true. More sisters attend college or whatever. But a lot of brothers make moves in other ways. Some of them make moves in illegal ways. That's not the problem. Education is not the solution. It's not the problem. It's not going to solve this problem, because we have the education, but the problem still exists. Because your problem is that you live in a nation that don't like you, and you don't want to accept that. I'm an American. This nation has been conditioned. They don't like you, but you want to be liked. You want to try to force yourself on a people that they don't like us. That's just the reality of it. We can't accept the fact we want to be part of something, and this is America. This is my country, just like it is anybody else. That's true. But let me give you a quick example. You and I are roommates. We pay $80 rent. Ooh, that's cheap rent, ain't it? I pay $40 rent. You pay $40 rent. But my roommate has the nerve to tell me when I can come in the house, when I can leave. My roommate controls the refrigerator, the cable. How? Okay, this is our apartment. I pay rent, but it's not equal. So you live in a society, you live in a nation. Yeah, America is your country or whatever. True. You don't make no laws. You don't control nothing. The same example, the example that I just gave of being a roommate. You're a roommate that pays equal rent, but you don't control nothing. So yes, it's my apartment. Somebody else is controlling everything. You live in America and don't control nothing. Caucasian people don't obey not one law that was designed or created by dark-skinned people. Not one. But you do every day. Traffic tickets, your taxes, civil rights, all created and designed by them that you have to obey. But this is your nation, but you don't control nothing. You don't even control the education. You don't control the education. You don't control the entertainment industry. You don't control the public works system. You don't control nothing. But you want to live this way. You want to try to force yourself, try to make somebody like you, and can't accept the fact it's like a girl. You chase a woman, and you want to get what you like her, but she don't like you. She don't like you. That's just the bottom line. You bring her flowers, you bring her candy, you pay her cell phone bill. She don't like you. She don't mind, yeah, pay my cell phone bill, but she still don't like you. This is the type of situation, this is the type of condition, this is where we find ourselves. No matter how many of them I don't care how many Caucasian men Serena Williams married. I don't care about how we try to blend in. This nation, the reality is you are not welcome. You are not liked. That's just the bottom line. You can pay their cell phone bill and you can tap dance and sing and dance for them. But when it's all said and done, they still don't like you. Like the girl. You can take her to dinner. She still don't like you. Pay her cell phone bill. She don't like you. Open the door so she can get out the car. She still don't like you. This is the situation that you're in. Instead of finding somebody that will love you and treat you like a human being the way you need to be treated, you want to try to force yourself on somebody who may not only not like you, but actually hate your guts. I don't care how much education you get. And you base your thinking on the lifestyle that a slave master put on you. So you have Black Wall Street and you have all your lawyers and educated people, but how do you live? You live trying to be like your master. You want a Mercedes Benz, you want a 7-bedroom house, you want to be like your master. Because if we wasn't living and trying to be like our master, all the money that the so-called Negro, the descendants of slaves born in America, all the things that we can get out of this economy, we could really help our people rise up real fast. But no, you want to try to be like the Joneses. You want to be like your master. So you want your Mercedes Benz. And you want your big house and a swimming pool in the backyard, and you want to show your massa. See, massa, we the same. No, we're not the same, because massa control everything. When massa get ready to, massa can take your Mercedes Benz, your houses, everything away from you. You know why? Because you didn't pay your taxes. Ask Red Fox. Ask Wesley Snipes. Ask I think they're getting ready to make a move on Mary J. Blige, I think I heard. They don't care nothing about you. They don't care nothing about you. You want to try to be like them. You should not want to be like them. You should want to be better than them and be not like them. You all messed up. And you want to compare us to other people. Well, the Chinese do it, and the Indians and the Africans do. You cannot compare our situation with the Japanese, Asian people, or the Indians or Africans or anybody else that migrate to this country. You cannot compare our situation. This nation has always been against the so-called Negro. Jim Crow was not designed against Asians. There was no, excuse me, my telephone's out bother me. It's talking. Every time I get a text, my telephone can talk. But Jim Crow, there is no Jim Crow against Asian people. There is no Jim Crow against Africans. There is no Jim Crow against nobody except us. There was no black code. There was no law. Laws was designed against us. There's no laws against them. Matter of fact, by the time they start coming here and get to going, we are the ones. They are taking advantage due to our fight, make it easier for them. And then they want to look at us and down us. And we are the reason why they can do what they do. Not only did you have Jim Crow, not only did you have the black codes, there were also, and I'm very sure it continues to this day, what about the laws and the policy that's not on pen and paper? There is no pen and paper. We know about racial profiling. Is it on pen and paper? Harass the Negro. It's understood that we do what we can to keep these people down. It's understood. Let a few of them rise. Let Serena Williams rise. Let Bill Cosby rise. Will Smith. Let a certain amount of them rise. So it don't look like we are against them, but we are. You can't compare our situation to others. They never had to deal and still don't have to deal with this crap that we do. When you talk about racial profiling, it's always us. What about these other folks here? It's always us. And of course, I believe that when it comes to racial profiling, I think that it also includes the Mexicans and some other darker skinned persons also. But primarily, it's us. So you have your education. Get all the education that you want to. I'm not telling us that there's something wrong with education. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying, that's not the solution. You are not using your education properly. Your mindset, you're trying to be like the people that hate you. You have the wrong mindset. Instead of, if you're not going to take over the apartment, then you need to get out. You're not going to be in an apartment with a person and you don't control nothing, but you pay equal rent. That's a roommate that you getting ready to, you got to leave. And we don't want to talk about that. We want to try to work things out. But if you had a roommate, you wouldn't be trying to work nothing out. You'd be like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna find my own apartment. I'm getting out of here. This ain't no. You wouldn't go for it. But with them, we gotta try to, we can work together. We can. It's always some kind of excuse. Always some kind of reason to try to work it out with them. You cannot compare our situation with other folks. Then we have those that, I don't know what it is. You have dark-skinned people who actually believe, and they run around talking about black folks need to stop being victims. We don't have to be a victim. Pull up your bootstraps or whatever you say. Stop blaming the white man. That's so sickening to me. This mindset, this mentality comes from people who have been abused. People who are abused are always trying to find an excuse to justify what their abuser done to them. I'm not a victim. I should have. He wanted fried chicken and I baked it. I was looking out for his health. It's my fault. That's how y'all sound. It's my fault. You want to blame yourself because this person punched you in your damn face. And that's how you are with Caucasian people. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier about the education. You want your education, not to try to do something really for yourself. You want to impress the white people. Look how I'm not ghetto. I'm not a ratchet. But look at their society. Who taught you? Who taught us these behaviors? Was the slaves ratchets? Was the slaves wearing weaves, blonde weaves? All this stuff comes from once the slave come into their society and you got closer to your roommate, got closer to the one who oppressed you, and you began to take on their ways. Under Jim Crow, before integration, most dark-skinned people, we were influenced, of course, by the Bible. And a lot of this stuff you didn't see because since we was following the Bible, those Christian teachings, it was certain ways that we carried ourselves. But once Dr. King was successful with integration, integration was acceptable, and we began to get closer and closer to our oppressor and began to mimic their way of life, then we became like them. So when you say ratchet, you act like Caucasian people, they're not ratchet. But you will find Caucasian women wrestling around in mud. Here are two grown women. They'll get in a pool of mud and wrestle. And y'all think that's cute. But y'all talk about don't eat pork because the pigs, because pigs, you know, they waddle in pork. But you enjoy these women that get in some mud and they waddle around it. That's cool. You want to copy a lifestyle of your oppressor. You want to be like them. There's a problem. And you wonder why you can't progress. You can't progress because you're trying to be something that you're not. You're not like them and should not want to be like them. So if we are ratchets, who taught us to be ratchet? Who taught you how to use cocaine? Who taught you how to drink liquor? Who taught you how to steal? Who taught you how to shoot a gun? Who taught everything that you know? Who taught you that? But you don't want to blame them. You have to take certain responsibility. Who taught you all this stuff? I agree with you that you have to take responsibility for yourself. However, you have to look at this fact. I'm not trying to justify, make excuses for nobody, but I want to present to you and bring up a fact. You have a dog. We talked about a dog earlier. Dog is an ancestor. Ancestor of the dog is a wolf. You have a dog. And the dog comes from a wolf. The dog is a domesticated animal created by men. Everything that dog is because of what a man done to that dog. A dog was not born in your house. Dogs and wolves and other animals are supposed to be free. They are not supposed to be in your house, but they are in your house under the control of men. They are not taught by a wolf. They are not taught by a goat. They are not taught by nothing else except by men. So when that dog does something crazy, whatever that dog is doing, do you blame the dog or do you blame its massa? You must blame the massa. That's who is in control. That's who the dog was influenced by, created by. You have to blame the man. You cannot blame the dog. The dog was not taught by another dog. The dog was put in your house under your control, created by men. So it is the same with the so-called Negro. If the black woman is a ratchet, who taught her how to be that? Who taught her how to color her hair blonde? Not no Africans. The Chinese didn't teach her. Who's teaching her all this stuff? color your hair blue and red and cuss? Who taught us to call women bitches and whores? Who taught us all this stuff? You don't want to say. Take responsibility for yourself. Who taught us that? You don't want to say. Because you don't blame the white man. Well, who the hell do you blame then? You want to blame the Mexicans? How can you blame the Mexicans? You can't. You want to blame the Chinese? You can't. You're going to blame yourself. How you going to blame yourself? You didn't create this stuff. You know where it come from. Let's go back to education. Who educated you? Who educated you and I? Going back to education. The education that Alquan said that we need. Whose education are we being taught by? Influenced by? The dog is a victim of man. Oh, don't be a victim. We want to be heroes. Run around here. Don't blame the white man. Don't play victimhood. Every day, in every state, every town around this nation, Caucasian people are playing victim. The court system is filled with people. I'm a victim. Either give me some money or send somebody to jail. I'm a victim. But here's the so-called Negro. Here y'all are, self-righteous, and think that you're doing somebody a favor. You think you're doing yourself a favor. You think you are some kind of hero. I'm not a victim. I don't suffer from victimhood. But everybody in this nation plays victim. But you act like you can't be. You are not a victim. Do you know what a victim is? A victim is somebody who has been caused harm. That's what a victim is. The state of Israel and the Holocaust, that Holocaust, Jewish Holocaust stuff, been over for years. They still talk about we victims. You anti-Semitic. It's still people who don't like us. They still play the victim card. But here you are, suffering racial profiling. We are still discriminated against in employment and housing. But we don't want to play victim. Just toughen yourself up. Stupid. And so you want to let the abuser, you want to let the people who's doing the abuse off the hook. But that's how it is with people who are abused. You blame yourself. It's all my fault. I should have fried that chicken. He wanted baked chicken. I deserve to get punched in the face. That's your thinking. Victim of an abuser. There was just recently in my area, and I'm going to call this a day. Peace and respect you to Brother Leon Fletcher. How you doing? I'm glad you're here. I wonder where my other 9 subscribers is at. But yeah. Let me say this, and we're gonna call it a day, and I'm gonna come back later on and try to do a little something. And just recently in our area, the area where I live, a truck driver, we don't know what happened, but this truck smashed 8 cars and killed 3 people. So 3 people, with no doubt, are victims. But I want to say this. But see, when the truck driver killed these 3 people, there are more than just 3 victims. What if the victim had children? The children are victims. The mothers and the fathers and the cousins, everybody who loved them have become victimized by this tragedy. You don't have to actually be in the car accident to be a victim. I don't have to be an actual physical slave to be a victim. You don't have to be a slave to be a victim. Your ancestors, our ancestors were slaves. And that affects us to this day. We are victims. And the abuser and the ones who are behind the victimization, they set their courts up and their laws so that you can't get justice, so you can't be a victim. But they can go in court every day, and the families of those people who was killed in that truck accident, believe me, they're gonna play victim. They go into court. But here you are, that's all right. I can pay my own hospital bills. I would bury my own children. That's all right. I'm not a victim. Who do you know do that except the so-called Negro? Y'all so damn stupid and caught up. There's a reason why. Now, I don't go around calling white folks devils. And really, there's no such thing as a devil. That's some religious stuff. But you can't have the attribute of a devil, even though the devil is fictional. You can have the attributes. These people are liars and deceivers. They're not going to put you or want you in a position whereas you're going to make them accept responsibility for what they've done. Not for individuals, what this nation has done. We're not talking about your best friend Bob and his wife Carol. We're talking about what this nation done to us as a people. You are letting them get away with not accepting responsibility for what this government done. Jim Crow was law. There are people right now who suffered under Jim Crow right now. Well, if the slaves was actually here, you're a damn lie. You're a lie. There are people who suffer, who are alive right now that suffered under Jim Crow. You ain't gave them a dime. There are people who are alive right now that suffer under racial discrimination, racial profiling. There are people who are living right now, and you ain't trying to give them a damn dime. There are people who y'all sent to jail, prison for 40 years, and you won't give them a damn dime, and you know they're innocent. Get out of here with that damn lie. And you want to live around and love and be around people like this. A bunch of liars, deceivers, and manipulators. They are devils, but not the fictional devils. The attribute, they do have the attributes of being devils. There's no doubt about that. And you want to lay around here, and you hate yourself, you hate me, you don't like your brothers and sisters, where we can get together and get the hell out of here. Once and for all. Deal with these people, deal with this situation once and for all. So my grand nieces and nephews, because I don't have any biological children, your children, our future generations don't have to deal with this mess. But you so off into this. I don't believe what you. Who cares about what you believe? You and I unite on what we can agree upon, and then we make moves upon what we agree upon, and we stick together. And if we die together. The same way that we can live together, we die together. You show our people, you show yourself. Be an adult. Stop being such a damn cowards and stupid. I'm not a victim. These so-called Negroes, the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin, we have been victims going on 500 years. You're going to let these suckers get away with that. Believe me, if it was them, they would not let you get away with it. Look at these women, 40 years after the fact. Bill Cosby, he drugged me. And guess what? They victims. Guess what? If they can, they want some money from Bill Cosby. But here you are. I don't need reparations. I can lift myself up. It don't make no difference if you can lift yourself up and do your thing. It's about justice. It's about doing what's right. You live in a nation that is not right. They are not just. They are hate-filled. They hate our guts for whatever reason. And you're not going to live up to your potential living and being with these folks. You want You are so filled with dislike and hatred for another victim. And that's how victims do. See, I know about it. I was a victim of a bully. Now, I would not fight my bully. I was scared of my bully. But I would go home and fight my sisters with everything I got. Oh, you did this to me. Bah, 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 bah. But I would not put my hand, on that bully who was really causing me serious harm. I love my sisters. I love my mother. I would talk back to my mother, but I would not talk back to the bully. When that bully told me to shut up, I shut the hell up. But when my mama told me to shut up, hey, I still be trying to talk. See how sick we are? We are some really sick, dingbat folks. Because we have suffered from mental abuse. You want to be a hero. Protect these demons. And they laugh at you. They laugh at all of us. They just sit back and, because you're so confused, you're so messed up. A joke. Your YouTube videos ain't saying nothing. All thing you do is watch cable, and all these people with these stations, they watch the news that they did not create. They don't go out and get the news. They watch the white man's news, then they comment on it. Then they talk about the white man. It's stupid. Then they want you to pay. They want you to pay them for making a comment on news they didn't even get because they made a comment on it. Donate to my Patreon account and all this crap. And y'all going for it. Silly slave. I'm happy. Let me tell you something. I am very happy with my 10 subscribers. I'm very happy because I am surrounded by people like Leon Fletcher that got some sense. I don't need to be around wackos, insane people. I'm not a victim. Get the hell out of here. You was a victim before you even came out of your mother's womb. Get the hell out. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna come back though. I wanna do something entertaining for us later on, 5 hours or so from now. Because y'all like to be entertained. I'm not an entertainer. I'm trying to, believe me, I'm trying to do something here. It ain't about entertainment. But for you, it might be entertainment. I'm trying to do something. And I'm not going to say what it is, but I'll let you know when it get done. You'll see the results. I'm not an entertainer. But, you know, when you're at war, any tool that you have at your disposal, you use it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught his followers, when you are at war, even teach your infants, you know, to pick up a rock and throw it at the enemy, a pebble or whatever. Whatever you can get, you use it in that war, whatever it is. And so I'm at war, and I'm trying to do something here. You can be entertained, but believe me, for me, I'm not an entertainer. At one time, I was. At one time, I was an entertainer. I wanted to sing, I wanted to dance, and, you know, I wanted to be a sambo shuffler for the white man. You know, whoever paid me, I wanted to actually do that. But now all that's out of me. And I have something else up my sleeve. You can believe that. But with that said, I will see you later. And take a break, let my throat rest a little bit and come back and do a little something. And I hope y'all, I hope that, oh, look at my brother, King Noble. How you, oh, wow. King Noble is the only brother, well, yeah, I could say that he's the only brother, Black supremacy. He's the only brother that I could actually interact and talk to. And I can actually say things. We can have a conversation and I can disagree with him and the brother don't get angry and mad and upset. We talked on, I think we talked on Skype and we talked back and forth. Much respect to King Noble Black Supremacy. Much respect. Always love here. Always. All these old sissified people. King Noble challenges all these other idiots out here, and they run. They run. What you running from? They running from the fact that this man is going to expose them for not being as intelligent as it looked like they are. These y'all listening to clowns. Yes, sir. You keep doing what you're doing also. Because this brother know that we surrounded by all these clowns. They clowns. They're not going to take you nowhere. They're not serious. Because when it's all said and done, if you have to, you might have to die for the cause, suffer for the cause. That's just the reality of a revolution. That's just the reality of liberation. These people are just not going to just let you go easy. You my nigga. Do you understand it? You my nigga. And they ain't gonna let you go easy. So I will shoot Dr. King in the damn neck. Yeah, I know the Muslims gonna kill Malcolm. I'll sit back and let them do my job for me. Stupid ass Muslims. Oh, wow. I want to thank y'all for listening. Thank you, Brother King Noble. It's really an honor that you would come and you've been listening to what I have to say. And of course, Brother Leon. Oh, man, I love y'all, man. There's a brother, hopefully, if I can get him on here, Brother Son of Will. I met him. Just a coincidence. I just met him not long ago. He recognized me. I didn't know who the hell he was. And it's been years. But see, that just goes to show you about people's minds when they begin to let all this false fiction fantasy stuff, let it go. He still remember Angel Snubbed Up 7. Here I am, dressed up. My beard was all grayed up and ragged, and the brother still recognized who I was. I'm like, wow. We need to change this, man. The people need to have an alternative. I know Sonetta TV is big. I know about the Advice Show, Tommy Sotomayor. All these people are big, but I'm telling you. Thank you, Dwayne. Is it Dwayne number 3? Thank you, man. Thank you. I love y'all, man. I do. I love us. Now, you may not like what I have to say sometimes, disagree, whatever. But if you come to this rostrum, there's one thing you have to, you have to know. I love us. Because I love me. And I give credit where credit is due. It was because of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when I was a little boy. He taught me how to love black. He taught me that. I had no choice because I grew up in an environment, even in my own house, that did not like black. Either I learned how to love black or bleach my skin or do something like some of these people doing nowadays. So I love myself. So I love Brother Leon and Brother King Noel and Dwayne. I love us. I love my sisters. I don't care what the sisters do. Color your hair yellow, red, white, and blue, whatever. I love us. I don't care. Thank you so much, Brother Dwayne. I love us, man. And I would do anything to work with any of these. I don't hate Sonetta. I don't hate Brother Farrakhan. I don't hate none. Where do people get this hate crap from? I don't hate nobody. The only thing I'm doing is making an observation of your theology, your ideology, or whatever. But we don't have to concentrate on that. What can we do to connect? What do we have in common that we can connect on? That we all can agree upon? And let's go forward. But see, this is the reality though. The reality is many of these people are not interested in you like that. They want you as a slave. Come follow me. That's what they want. I'm God. That's what they want. They want you as a slave. You are my brother. You are my sister. I don't want you. Whatever you feel comfortable, live your life and be happy to the best of your ability. I don't care if you eat pork. I don't care if you go to McDonald's. I don't care if you're a vegan. I don't care about stuff like that. I just want you to be damn happy. Us to get up out of this situation once and for all. And then we can talk about how we live our lives later when you get free. How the hell a slave gonna tell another slave how to live? That's what gets me. You are a damn slave just like I am. You gonna tell me don't eat no damn pork. Get the hell out of here. You a slave just like me. Get free. Liberate yourself. That's the important thing. That's what we need to do. Get away. Either you whoop the hell and take over this nation, or you get the hell out of it. Because as long as you stay in it, you cannot reach your greatest potential. These people are hindering your progress. They are making you go backwards. That's why you have ratchets. That's why you have thugs. They're making you go backwards. Because you're living here with these bastards. They don't care about, they're not looking out for your best interest. Either you whoop their ass or get the hell out of their house. It's simple as that. But many of these people are comfortable. They are comfortable with their Mercedes-Benz, 7-bedroom houses and stuff like that. That stuff don't impress me. I don't care about that. I can be happy with my soul sister Terry Ellis, because y'all know I'm crazy about that sister from Invo. I could be with her. Give me a pond with some fish in it, an apple tree, and whatever. I'm cool. I don't need diamonds. I don't need gold. I don't need swimming pool. I don't need all that bull crap. You trying to copy and be like Massa. I don't give a damn. And believe me, the way Massa is living right now, he's not going to be living that way too much longer. Because his lifestyle is based on something that is dwindling. He's not going to be able to do it. So you following behind him, y'all got a rude awakening. This life that we live right now is really recent. It hasn't been in existence that long. It came into existence due to the discovery of oil. And the oil is running out. So what you gonna do? We need to go back to nature. There's a brother called Nature Boy. I don't know too much about Nature Boy, but see, that's the key. Gotta go back to nature. You have to go back and put yourself in balance with this planet. Yeah, that's right, brother Dwayne. You don't want to farm. Man, see, I grew up in an environment, we grew our own food. I remember you could put a seed of corn in the ground, and I would watch it little by little. It come up out of the ground. Next thing I know, it was this big thing, and you harvest your corn. We had pigs and chickens. Every day I woke up with cock-a-doodle-doo, the chickens, and I could see the squirrels going up and down the tree and the deer running around. Man, see, many of our people have never experienced life. They never seen life. They never seen tomatoes grow from a seed to a tomato plant. They never seen these things. Frogs jumping in the pond. Yes, sir. See, that's right. That's a beautiful thing. They never seen, Brother Dwayne, they never seen life. And I call us the people of soul, the people of life. But you need to get our soul back. We need to be raised from the dead. And that's the purpose of this ministry, is to raise us from the dead. Bring us back to nature.
Ooh.